WikiLeaks founder Julian Assange has been freed from the high-security Belmarsh prison in the United Kingdom. He will travel home to Australia. His plane made a stopover in Thailand. Assange was allowed to go after he agreed to plead guilty to a single charge of breach of the United States espionage law and conspiracy to obtain and disseminate national defense information. He will appear in a court in Saipan, a U.S. Pacific territory, at 9 a.m. local time on Wednesday morning. Assange will be sentenced to 62 months in prison with credit for the 5 years he has served in a Britain prison. This means he could return to his native Australia, ending his years-long legal drama.
Well, that'll have a number we don't. Okay.
It's Wednesday, the 19th of June, and it's exactly 12 years today since Julian went into the embassy of Ecuador, which granted him political asylum, protection from persecution, from torture, from a life imprisonment, And 12 years on, I'm visiting Julian in a high-security prison. But this period of our lives, I'm confident now, has come to an end. And I think that by this time next week, Julian will be free.
Australia says it is aware of WikiLeaks founder's legal proceedings in the United States, adding that his case had dragged on for far too long. U.S. legal documents showed that Assange, an Australian citizen, made a deal to secure his freedom by pleading guilty.
The government is certainly aware that Australian citizen Mr Julian Assange has legal proceedings scheduled in the United States. While this is a welcome development, we recognise that these proceedings are crucial and they're delicate. Given these proceedings are ongoing, it isn't appropriate to provide further detailed comment.
In a statement, WikiLeaks announced on social media X, and I quote, "Julian Assange is free. He left Belmarsh maximum security prison on the morning of June 24th after having spent 1,901 days there." It further said, and I quote, that this is the result of a global campaign that spanned grassroots organizers, press freedom campaigners, legislators and leaders from across the political spectrum, all the way to the United Nations. The jailed WikiLeaks founder has been fighting for years to avoid extradition from Britain in connection with the 2010 publication of thousands of U.S. classified documents. Here's a timeline of Julian Assange's legal troubles after he agreed to plead guilty to revealing military secrets in exchange for his release from prison, ending his years-long legal drama.
Let me know when you gather. Won't you?
Light them all up.
202 traffic, 260.
Come on, fire!
Hey, Roger.
Keep shooting.
On 5th April 2010, WikiLeaks releases leaked video from U.S. helicopter showing an airstrike that killed civilians in Baghdad, including 2 Reuters news staff.
Fire!
Hey, Roger.
On 5th July 2010, Assange's WikiLeaks whistleblowing website begins publishing hundreds of thousands of leaked U.S. military documents about the wars in Iraq and Afghanistan. It later follows up with a huge batch of secret U.S. diplomatic cables which show that Washington spied on the leadership of the United Nations and that Saudi Arabia pressured the United States to attack Iran.
To this material.
In October 2010, WikiLeaks releases 400,000 classified military files chronicling the Iraq War. The next month, it releases thousands of U.S. diplomatic cables, including candid views of foreign leaders and blunt assessments of security threats. On 18 November 2010, a Swedish court orders Assange's arrest on sex crime allegations, which he denies. He is arrested in Britain the next month on a European arrest warrant. but freed on bail.
It's great to smell fresh air of London again.
In February 2011, London's Westminster Magistrates Court orders Assange's extradition to Sweden, which he appeals. 5 days later, he takes refuge in Ecuador's embassy in London and seeks political asylum. On April 11, 2019, Ecuador revokes his political asylum and Assange is carried out of the embassy and arrested. On February 21, 2020, a London court begins the first part of extradition hearings. On January 4, 2021, a British judge rules that Assange should not be extradited to the United States to face criminal charges. However, on December 10, 2021, the US wins an appeal against the ruling after a judge says he is satisfied with a US package of assurances about the conditions of Assange's detention. On June 17, 2022, Britain orders Assange's extradition to the United States, prompting Assange to file an appeal. On February 20, 2024, Assange launches what his supporters say will be his final attempt to prevent extradition. On March 26, 2024, the extradition is put on hold, where the court says the US must provide assurances that Assange will not face a potential death penalty. June 24, 2024, the US Justice Department and Assange reveal a deal in which he will plead guilty to one criminal count. And now, Assange has agreed to plead guilty to US criminal charges as part of a deal that allows him to go free.
Well, that'll have a number we don't. Okay.
For all the latest news, download the WION app and subscribe to our YouTube channel.